Hello, hello. Welcome to the live. So, as we always do, we're going to sit here and see if some people show up, if they have any questions. I'm sitting on the patio this afternoon, but if it becomes really noisy, then we'll move inside. Hola. I'm going to want to hear from you guys if the audio is really bad. You never know. I'm on the patio, on the balcony, so we'll see. Hola, hola. Happy Saturday. Welcome to the. Hey, Deborah. Ah, she's so good. Hola, hola. I'm sitting on the balcony. So if the audio is really bad, please let me know. Hola. Let me know if the audio is really bad, okay? I mean, my voice is a little weird because I have like a little. It's good. Oh, yay, Portland. Hola. Thank you so much. Well, I'm glad we are having an unseasonably nice day here in Panama. And usually about this time, it's really hot. But I have the doors open and fresh air. Listen, we just enjoy it when it happens because it doesn't happen a lot. You get up, the sun comes on every day at about 6:30 and it goes down about the same time. So it's usually hot, like around 7 or 8. Sun is blazing. So it is really nice. All right. Well, I'm here to answer any questions you might have. I don't have a topic. We had our monthly SWRA gathering this past Thursday. And if you've seen the pictures, you need to follow us on Facebook. That's where I post the pictures. Hola, Costa Rica. Hey, I was in Puerto Viejo. When was that? Was it May? Yeah. And I went to Limon. I love Limon. Limon kind of reminded me of Colon here. It was so good. I love Costa Rica. I don't know that I could stay where I was. It was very woodsy, and we were seeing the monkeys. And I don't like critters, so and didn't make it to what's the capital? Is it Santa something? The capital? Oh, Puerto Jimenez. Okay, okay. But the beaches, oh my God, they were so beautiful. And I posted that on my channel, San Jose, yes. And someone said, "Oh, those beaches in Costa Rica have nothing, on the beaches here in Panama." And I said, "I know we have nice beaches, but I love those beaches there. Oh my gosh." I was doing a live video when I was there. I do that when I travel. And I had the background, like right now. Let's see, where am I? Mm, I don't think you can see anything, but you could see the waters behind me, right? Up, right there, right there. And then let's see. I don't know if you can see anything. This is all the waters, and then the cityscape, right? These are the buses. Yeah, and the water. I mean, that's the thing. I like my balcony, the view, and every time I think I might want to leave, and I'm like, oh, I would miss this. I really do like it. It kind of calms you down when you're just looking at the water. It does. And on one side you have the cityscape, and on the other side you have the Panama Canal. It is a lovely view. It is beautiful. Hola, Auntie, you back. Wonderful. Where are, uh, I didn't get that last word. Hola, Robin. Let me know, guys, where you are tuning in from. I'm frozen? Oh, no. Uh-oh. Can you guys see me now? Well, this technology. I'm frozen. Uh-oh. That's when he said I have to get closer to the router, right? Oh, okay. I was like, I don't know what I did. Oh, okay, okay. Thank you. Yeah, so things are pretty nice here in Panama. We don't have any protests going on. I woke up with like a little thing in my throat, so my voice is going to sound a little weird. But I went and found my halls. You can't find these anywhere. You have to find them at different places. So I bought a bunch. Yep. And let's see what else is going on here. It is September. Not much in September. October is going to be quiet. And in November, we're going to have, wow, Panama, Mauritius. Wow, extreme, right? Every time I think about Mauritius and I'm like, did I make it there? I think in my mind, I was doing lots of research about Mauritius. And then I kind of decided against it. Apparently, it's heavy Indian influence, right? And from what I hear, there's a little bit of, between the Indian and Africans, and even though it is part of Africa, it's like when you go to the Seychelles. I was thinking, I was looking to do if I could do some teaching there, but they call the people Creole, and they have a lot of French there, and eh, I'm living in the US. I don't want to go anywhere where I have to worry about how I'm being perceived. That's why we like Panama, because we come here, we blend in, and we don't have to worry about any of that stuff. So every time even I think about Africa, like Kenya is very popular now. Kenya, I went to Ghana, and I don't think Ghana and I did not connect. I went to Rwanda and I didn't connect. So I'm open to checking out some other places, but Panama, I still feel more relaxed here. So, for my age, I'm 67. I'm not looking to start over and trying to earn for people to accept me or whatever. You get tired of that. You do. So, I don't know. I'm here for now, but Mauritius is actually beautiful. It's kind of expensive though, more expensive than Panama. So keep that in mind. Plus, you're way over there in the Indian Ocean. It's like, even though Panama, I didn't choose Panama because it's closer. I chose Panama because of how I felt when I got here. The food, the weather. I speak Spanish, so it was an easy transition for me. And in Mauritius, you have a lot of South Africans who retire there. And I'm like, South Africans? I don't know. I think when you decide to retire somewhere, you have to look at a lot of different things. Costa Rica makes sense because when I was in Puerto Viejo, lots of Caribbean people there. So the food was familiar, but it was pricey. Mm. So yeah, you have to look at that. Panama is definitely cheaper. In Mauritius the other day I was watching, maybe 3 months ago, and the president or governor, which a lot of them are Indian, they were trying to make it easy for people to retire there. And what they were saying, they want you to come and invest your money. They want you to buy an apartment, a condo. They were making that easier for expats in terms of taxes, and you can get visas easy. I don't know. I just feel like it's so far out. What scares me is the language barrier. Definitely is a concern. I will not whitewash it. I'm not going to tell you it's difficult, but I personally haven't met anybody who is here who is saying that it's been a real struggle. You know what I mean? Because everybody who doesn't speak Spanish uses Google Translate. I mean, I teach Spanish, but I see how my students struggle with the language. You older, your brain is not that young. It's not easy to learn something new. So that is a consideration. And that's why Kenya is very popular because they speak English, right? Even though if you learn Swahili, you blend in better because when you just speak English, you the gringa, right? You the foreigner until you start speaking the language. But here, even though they don't speak, hi Lynette, they don't speak, a lot of Spanish. But if they just say a few words here and there, people laugh, they smile. It's not so much a big problem here. The language, definitely. And people are giving classes all over the place. I think the struggle for a lot of us is that we stay in the bubbles with our friends. We go to lunch, we go to eat, and we're not in, with the locals where you're really forced. And the other side of it, because I deal with single older female, I tell them you need to stay in the city, close to your doctors, close to the hospital, and that's not conducive to being with the locals. So it's a give and take. It's a give and take, definitely. You are 80. Wow. Wilma, we have an 80-year-old sister here. And she was in the picture that we took during our meetup. She looks amazing. It was funny. She introduced herself. She said, I'm Patricia, and I got new hair. She had gone and had some nice silver hair. So funny. She is so happy. I know. She's 80 years old. She looks like she's my age. I'm 67, but she looks so good. Every single sister in my group, this one said, I'm going to be 70. I'm like, where? Her skin is nice. And listen, we're looking really good over here. That sun, the sun, that vitamin D, and the fresh fruit and vegetables works. And of course, reduce stress, reduce cortisol. That definitely is good for your skin. hmm Let's see what else is going on here. I don't know. Everything has been pretty quiet in Panama. They're working on a third metro line. So we're going to have three lines. So that's exciting. It's going to have a big tunnel under the canal. And I'm like, I can't wait to ride that because I use the metro a lot. No protests, not recently. Shh, we don't want any more protests. We had that big mess at Bocas del Toro, which caused Chiquita Banana to leave. Now I hear the government, they're working on something to bring it back. And the mines that were shut down like 2 years ago, every so often somebody is talking about them because, there were jobs that were lost. So it's a concern because this is a developing country. There is unemployment. The youth are looking for jobs. So So I don't see any construction. Construction is for the metro line, and also they are working on not a bullet train, gringas, yes. They're working on a fast train that's going to connect Panama City to David. Because now, yes, now you go to David, you could fly for an hour, or you can take the bus. That's like 9 hours or 8 hours. So we make a big difference. I think that's exciting. Yes, Chiquita Benin. Yeah, those people need their jobs. Listen, this is not like a big country. If 1,000 people lose their job, that's not good. That's not good. And when you can feed your family, all kinds of things happen, and we don't want that. Well, hola, MC. Welcome to the channel. Yeah, this is the time for you to ask your questions about Panama, okay? So I have my relocation ebook. It's doing really well. And then I'm working on the referral guide that's going to give you contacts for this, somebody to clean your AC, somebody who take you around, doctors, people come in and they say, I need to see an orthopedic doctor, then we tell you where to go. I need a dentist, we tell you where to go. Ortho Jimini, yes. Oh, good, Kim. See, that's wonderful. This is a good time. You're going to be in the dry season. Right now, it's rainy season. It's a beautiful day. There is no rain today. I mean, I don't mind the rain. I love the rain. So, but we have had quite a bit of rain this year. I think last year the canal, the water level was low, and that was a concern. But now, yep, you're excited. You should be. I remember when I came in 2019, I wanted to see the canal. And, I went on different tours. I absolutely loved it. Hit the street and went everywhere. I did not do a relocation tour. I started considering the one that Jackie does, but there were some things there I didn't like. So I'm like, nah, I'm going. Have you found the Uber fees depending on the time of day traffic pattern? Yeah. The average fare for Uber inside the city is about $3. Some people get it for two something. I've heard even $1.95 depending on where the time of day. If you're gonna go in the afternoon during rush hour, the fees go up, but nothing like the US. Nothing like the US. This lady in our group, she flew to New York City a couple of weeks back. She said to get to where she was going, the Uber fare was going to be $126. And I'm like, who does that? So she ended up taking the subway. And I'm like, yeah, I'm going to learn how to use the subway before I pay $126 to an Uber driver. But when I get to Orlando to get to my house, 2 years ago was about $80. And that's before you put your tip in. And then one time, the driver came in and I was fidgeting to get my bags or whatever, and I was too long. So he took off and they charged me $30 for like a no-show kind of thing. Yeah, Uber is serious over there. If you're coming next month, yeah, it's still gonna be rainy season. All you need when you go out, if you have a poncho, you can put it on. You don't need boots. You need an umbrella. That's it. But what you do, hola, what you do, I don't want you to go out when it's pouring rain because the roads can be washed out. And I tell you, never step into water. You don't know how deep it is. You don't know what's been floating in that water. People have gotten flesh-eating bacteria infection from stepping in water. Okay, so stay indoors. Yeah, they're expensive for me. I mean, really. Copa Airline in Raleigh, Durham, North Carolina has flights round trip direct. Yeah. Well, 400 is a good price. So the sooner, the earlier you book, the better rate you're gonna have. And guess what? Once you get your cedula, you get 25% off your flight on the pensionado visa. Portobello, next to Cologne, I think I drove through because I've gone on a couple of tours. I've gone to beaches. Yeah, I've been there. hmm How do you manage bank accounts from overseas? I've always wondered. Okay, when you come to Panama, once you get your residency, or even while you're in the process of getting it, your attorney gives you a letter saying, "This is my client. I'm working with her." You take it to the bank, take your money, best to do cash, take your source of income if you're a retired person. And a lot of time they would ask you for your lease, a copy of your lease where you're going to stay. You take it, they open an account. Be careful when you're opening an account in Panama. It takes them a long time to do a lot of checks on you, your money, where the money is coming from. So sometimes it's hours until you finish. Sometimes you have to come back the next day. When you leave, they give you a debit card in hand, so you can go to any ATM, access your money, no problem. Keep your account at home, wherever home is, right? Then you can always do ACH transfers from one bank account to the other. There is a fee, of course, right? International transfers. So if you're getting money from your bank account in the US to your account here, it might take you about 7 to 10 days to clear. So don't think you're going to get that money tomorrow. This is not like the US. You're talking about international. They have to check everything. Make sure you're not laundering money into the country. Okay? If you don't have a bank account here, and you're going to be using your ATM from the US to take money out, every time you access that ATM, they charge you a fee. It's like $6.50 for each transaction, up to $250 a day. All right, so it can get pricey. So some people get a Schwab account on the other side at home, and when you use the Schwab card to get money out, Schwab will reimburse you your ATM fees on a monthly basis. But it's not difficult. Just to get started might take you a little time, but that's all. Yeah, I have no problems. Now, my bank account here, I pay my rent. You do from one account to the other. You pay your electric, you pay your cable. Money doesn't exchange hand. They don't give you, we don't have any checks here. No. All right. Good deal. Uh-huh. 428. That 428, that's a good price. And Copa is owned by Panama, so you get good rates. Yep, you can use a debit card, credit card, debit card. Someone said they don't use Discover card here. I don't know. I don't have one. American Express, I'm not sure. But Visa, MasterCard, no problem. You're a few years out from retirement, trying to figure stuff out. That's good. That's good. And when you're thinking of retirement, think of maybe two or three places and then compare. You could do a spreadsheet, right? The spreadsheet, you're going to say distance from the US, weather, language, uh, visa requirements, right? And you want to know, are there people like you wherever you're going? Because that can make a difference. When you step out, do you see people who look like you? That's why Panama is so popular. And I think a friend just sent me another article. Last year, Panama was the number one destination for retirees. This year, it's still number one. It beats out Portugal, it beats out Mexico. We got something good going on here, but let me tell you, a lot of people are coming here. So I don't know how good it's going to be and for how long. But the attorneys are busy, busy, busy. Yeah. How do you avoid the ATM fees? Get a bank account here and then transfer money, but you're paying the transfer fee anyway, right? But if you don't have an account and you're trying to pay your rent and pay your bills, you're gonna have to make a lot of withdrawal because remember, you're limited to 250 a day. So if you have a $1,000 rent, you're making four withdrawals. That's 650 times four. That's $26. And then you have more money you need to take out. There's a bank here called BAC. That's the one I use. And you set your daily limit in your account at home. So if I go to that ATM, I can withdraw like $500 and I do it twice a day because my limit is $1,000 a day. And then they charge me 550 each time I take out 500, so that's $13. So, I mean, you're going to have fees. You're going to have fees. And what I tell people, the best thing to do is if you can take a chunk of money, you can come here with the $500,000 and open the account, right? And then use your money from your bank and make like a sizable transfer. It will take a few days, maybe 2 weeks, but that way you don't have to go to the ATM and you're paying one ACH transfer fee. I think that's the way you should do it. This is what they say Panama is noisy. That's what we're talking about. We just get used to it. On the weekend, they love to ride their motorcycle, the hot ride. And so, yeah, you make it work. I mean, you're going to pay somehow something, right? Um, yeah. Also, look at how long you have to stay in the country for residency. Oh, in Panama, once you get your residency, there is no requirement you have to be here 6 months out of the year like other countries. You only have to be in country once every 2 years for them to stamp your passport and then you can leave. You don't have to stay here. This is unique to Panama. That's the way it is now. Is it going to change? I have no clue. It might. Do you use wire transfer or a company like Wise? I don't use Wise, but I've heard people talk about it. Um, I think I would prefer to do my bank to this bank. I don't like third parties involved in my money. And you know, the fees, unless you have Schwab, just put it in your budget. The fact that you move here, you're going to have to pay for something, right? All right, so I answered the residency question. There is a possible workaround by going to the casino. Okay, Robin, I've never set foot in a casino, so I can't speak to that. I don't know. Oh, wow, that's amazing. I didn't thought about that. Oh, okay. But you know, they're very suspicious about large amounts of money in Panama. So let's say you wanted to transfer $30,000 from one account to another. They're probably going to be looking at everything, which is going to make it take a while before it clears. Okay? Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I have no problem. And I go to a place here in Panama City called the Multi Plaza Mall. On the third floor, they have an area called Aera Bancaria. So all the banks have an office on that floor. There's Western Union, there's something else. So I go to the BAC bank, take my money out, then just walk across the hall to my bank and make a deposit. I could do that, or I could transfer from my bank account to this bank account. Yeah, I mean, you're gonna pay, so don't be stingy. And plus, you can't work here, so you gotta transfer and make sure you keep your social security and all your retirement deposit into your account over there, not here. Well, it's 250 because you set it up for 250. Mine is $1,000 a day. You can go into your bank account and set your daily limit yourself over there. You limit it here at the ATM for 250 a day. Now, I don't know if your bank is going to say it's 250 a day, but my bank, it's $1,000 a day. And then yes, my bank over there also charges $5 for the ATM. So if you look at it, um, what is it then? It's 550, 530, 530 or 535? 535 plus 5, that's $10 per 500. Like I said, you're gonna pay something anyway. If it's not something crazy, don't worry about it. That's just the way it is. If you're gonna transfer money, you're gonna pay some fees. Just think about it that way. I think it's a small price to pay to live your life stress free, right? Yep. And people bring checks here and deposit it in the bank here. But then again, because it's international, it's going to take time and they're still going to charge you a fee because it's an out of the country kind of check. I prefer to do electronic transfers instead of bringing a check. But some people do that. No, you do not get tax on your Social Security. No. Now you have to report that when you do your taxes over there because it doesn't matter where you live in the world. If you are a US resident, you have to file, not necessarily pay, file your taxes every year. It sucks, but yeah. Let's say you've been out for 30 years, you still have to file every single year. I still keep my CPA from before and I file a 941 every single year. You don't get taxed, not here. But people tell me that some other countries you do get taxed. And if you work at an online job, you're doing remote work, you don't get taxed here. That's why a lot of people who retire can continue doing something online. And that is not income that Panama recognizes because you're not working for a Panamanian company where they're paying taxes, social security for you. Nope. Yeah. Panama is really senior friendly. And I think they recognize the power. They use the dollar, which is very attractive to a lot of people. And they encourage people to come and spend your money because you come here and you just spend, 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 but you can't earn because even as a nurse, if I wanted to work part time, I couldn't work here because nursing is considered what they call a protected profession that Panama reserves for its citizens. But I can work part time if I'm hired by a company in the States or somewhere else. It's okay. No, Robin, you don't do that. Make sure you keep your address in the state. So all kinds of communication coming from the SSA should go to that address. Don't open yourself up to all that. Now, if you decide to have your social security check deposited in your bank here, I think every 2 years you have to notify Social Security as to where you are. And there is also another requirement that if you have a bank account here outside of the US and you have a certain amount of money in it, you have to report it. We're going to be talking to our sisters about that next month during our monthly meetup because there is a form that you're supposed to fill out outside of your regular taxes for how much money you have in your account outside. Uncle Sam wants to know everything about you. especially if it has to do with your money. Unfortunately, that's hola, CC. I don't know who you are. I don't know who CC is, but hola, thank you for being here. Yeah, wow. Let's see. I mean, I would say anybody who wants to come to Panama, start learning some Spanish. Learn how to maneuver at the airport. Learn how to order food. Learn how to order Uber, taxi. The simple things. And then immerse yourself in the language. I tell people, I speak Spanish, but I have the TV on during the day. I'm watching the news. It's just you training your ears to understand. When I get in the Uber, I strike a conversation with my driver. I want to know how you're doing, how long you've been here, do you have family? Yeah. I was in a Uber one time. I think it was around May. They have this Mil Pollera festival in Las Tablas, and I wanted to go. And I was like, I need to get me a pollera. And then this guy said, oh, I had my neighbor or whatever make an outfit for my daughter. And he's driving, we're in traffic. He's opening his wallet, took a picture of his little daughter, showed it to me. That's how friendly they are. Strike a conversation. One day I got in an Uber and it was an older Chinese driver. We have Chinese people here. Let me tell you, they stay in. Hola, Amy. They stay in their little mini supers, which are like little bodegas. They're family owned, and all of them are owned by the Chinese. But the first time I saw this Chinese driver, he was nicely dressed, and I'm like, let me tell you, there is nothing, I don't want to say weird, but strange to me when I see a Chinese person speaking Spanish fluently because they're Panamanian. They're here. Their families were here. So they are fully Panamanian and they speak Chinese, of course, and they're fully Spanish speaking. I was like, I think it's amazing. So I was talking to him. He asked me where I came from, and I told him, and then he said, I said, I love me encanta Panama. He said, well, thank you for loving my country. And I'm like, oh, this is so sweet. Oh, man, yes. Yeah, don't give up. It's important. Hola, Amy. I'm good. Thank you. Everything is good. Well, I woke up with this thing in my throat, so my voice is a little hoarse, but I got my halls, and I'm saying in the universe, whoever's coming in, bring me some halls because they're not easy to find. I had to go to 2 or 3 places to find mine, to find some. And even when I get on the metro, if I'm having a little scratchy throat, oh, this is my security blanket. I want to have one because I don't want to cough on people, and I always have my mask in my bag. In Panama, you can have your purse, a crossbody, okay? I recommend you use a crossbody. And then you have a bag where you're going to have water, an umbrella. You always need to have an umbrella because the sun could be so warm, so hot in the middle of the day. You want to cover yourself because the sun is damaging to your skin. It's not just you could burn yourself and get skin cancer. So if you're going to go out there in the middle of the day where the sun is bright, make sure you lather up with your sunblock all your neck, your ears, and your face. All right? And then you can wear a wide brim hat or you have your umbrella. Always have my umbrella in my purse, so it had to be a short one, not the long one. I always have masks. I always have hand sanitizer. I have wipes. I have a fan. Oh, now the neck fans are very popular because let me tell you, this is rainy season, but the dry season could be hot. And you step out in the middle of the day, you're gonna sweat, sister. And I tell people, sweating is good for you. It clears out your pores, but you got to make sure you replace because you can dehydrate really quickly. No bueno. Be careful. That's why, yes, sunshades, cover your eyes because your cataracts are going to accelerate with the sun damage. So I always have extra bag. So it's not ever going to be just my crossbody. No. Thank you, Amy. Yeah. Sunshades, very good travel goods. That is good. I yeah, I always have my sunglasses with me too. With the conditions here in USA, I'm not trying to give the government any reason for trying to cut me. I hear you. Whew. Yeah, we try not to talk politics on this channel, but boy, oh boy, it's right there, right? Whew. Honey and lime. Thank you. Thank you. Just started this morning. I just woke up and I'm like, what is this? I feel fine, but electrolytes in your water. Well, some people buy a little pack. Um, I'm usually okay, but on a couple of occasions, I started feeling like well, it wasn't my electrolytes, my legs. I like to go walk. I walk everywhere. So I was at the mall and my leg, I was dragging. I'm like, whew, why do I feel so tired? And whenever I feel weird, I drink, right? So I'm like, and I put lime, lemon. Sometimes I put ginger in my water. And I was like, well, let me drink, drink, drink. Maybe I'm dehydrated. And then I was like, well, how about my blood pressure? So I come home, check it, and it's usually low. So, I tell the ladies, when your body talks to you, listen. There is a lady who's a pharmacist. She has to get the electrolyte packets to put in her water because she says she gets really bad leg cramps, like her potassium goes out of whack. I don't know. I don't have that. Yep. But as you get older, you become so fragile and sensitive. And I tell them, I said, a little bit of a a change in your normal values can make you have symptoms. So that's why you have to listen, be in tune with your body. If something feels weird, check it out. I think one day I was out, sometimes I get out of here like 7. There is a market. If I want to go get something, I have to get there early. Otherwise, I don't get good choices like the fish market. You got to go there early to get the best fish. Otherwise, by 10 o'clock, done. And whatever is left, you don't want it, right? So I was walking again and I was like, whew, I'm feeling so lightheaded. And I'm like, what is this? And I don't eat breakfast. So I entered into this little store and I ordered a pastry. And I just ate it and drank some water. Boom, I was good. My blood sugar had dropped. So you gotta listen to yourself. Listen to your body. The other day, I took, during my program with the sisters, I was checking people's blood pressure. And then this sister, I was like, oh, yeah, take your medication. And she said, yeah, sometimes I get up in the morning and I'm woozy. You're not supposed to feel like that. So listen to your body. If you have a history of high blood pressure, get a machine and check it every so often. And when you go to the doctor, take the machine so he can see what you've been doing. All right? I want to live in a neighborhood where there are lots of black expats for the first year, at least so I can meet people. What neighborhoods are best? Well, we don't have, unless you go to Cologne. Cologne is where you find the largest group of Afro-Panamanians. But I don't know any expat that voluntarily moves to Cologne because it's a special place as a foreigner. We don't congregate to say we have lots of black people, but in Panama, when you get in here, most people look like you, sis. So don't look for black people. You find us in the street, in your building, in the elevator. We're all over the place. So if you go to, I'm on Balboa, San Francisco, Bella Vista, El Congrejo, Costa del Este, not so much. But all those places I mentioned, you're going to find black people all over the place. I could not keep my hair dry. From the time I think you said that. Oh, well, that's too bad. You know what? when you come to Panama, you don't worry about your hair so much. We're all going natural. People have twisted stuff. We do not listen. You see that? We don't worry about hair. No. So don't go to think you're gonna go to a beauty salon and put your perm in. Relax, sis. This is freedom here. Okay. Humidity. We have humid days. Yeah, I mean this is the rainy season right now, and I can tell you that it's very humid, and no 2 days are the same. So today, look at that. I'm sitting on the balcony, and I'm still okay. I'm not sweating, and of course, I don't worry about my hair. I've gone natural for the last few months. I haven't even colored my hair. This is how relaxed you become. Nobody's looking at you. Nobody cares what you look like. You just relax. Whatever you want to do with your hair, your body, you do it. So, yeah, no, we don't worry about our hair here. Yep. But we know that if the sun is out and it's really hot, we stay indoors. During like 11 to about 4, we are in your apartment. Hello from Japan. Oh my God, Stuart. I'd love to go to Japan, but I'm thinking, how many hours is that? That's that's a long way off. So yeah, we stay indoors during the day. So in the morning, people are going walking. Like I leave my house at 7, I go to the store. By 8:30, I'm back home. So I can go to the gym. I do my exercise program with my ladies Monday, Wednesday, Friday. Um, I can work on my computer, I work on my program. You clean, you do whatever you need to do, and then at 4 o'clock, you can get out, go with your friends, you can walk again. 4 o'clock it's still a little bit warm. I go to if I'm gonna walk, I leave around 5 when I know the sun has gone down. Hello from Japan. Wow, that's amazing. Whoa. Yep. No, I haven't gotten that far east yet. No, no. I do want to go to China. I want to go to Beijing. I want to go to what's the other place? The second, Shanghai, um, uh, Guangzhou, and Japan. I definitely want to experience the cooking. I'm a cook, so and the tea. I'd like to do a cooking and tea instructional kind of tour. I was in the Peace Corps with this girl who was Chinese, and I told her I wanted to go to China, but I wanted to go with her. But I don't know what happened. I speak intermediate. Yeah, they do have a couple of groups, but they only meet like once. Is it once a month? And they practice. But it's like a language meet up, and they go into this restaurant and they set up tables. So they will have the French table, they have Italian table, they have Spanish table, and whatever language you want to practice, you go to that table and then you talk to each other. But it's not that often, and I don't know that that's going to be helpful for you. um, the best thing probably would be to join some Spanish Facebook groups and then try to converse that way, right? I teach Spanish online, but I do the basic, sentences, vocab, and verbs and stuff like that. But to practice, you just have to put yourself out there. Go to the store, go to the open market, and start talking to the vendors. Start bartering for prices. And then, like I said, leave the TV on and train your ears. Put your earbuds in and um, pair your phone with some YouTube channels. They have tons of free classes online. So what I do when I'm walking, I have my earbuds in, and then I am listening to what they call intermediate conversation. So they'll give you a story, right? And then they ask question at the end. And the whole time you're listening, you're like, okay, let me see if I understand the story. And then they come out, they say, well, what happened here? What did he say? Blah, blah, blah. It's testing your understanding, right? So I think that's a good thing to do if you're intermediate to do that. I speaking to me, right. I've looked in here before. You retired ladies in Panama seem to have a lot of fun. We do have fun. Listen, there are multiple groups here in Panama. People play pickleball. People play cards. I don't do any of that. I'm busy with my SWRA stuff. I'm busy with my Spanish classes. I'm busy with my e-learning, my ebooks, and that's how busy I want to be. I don't want to be, all the time. Some days I say that I'm not doing anything, or I go for a walk, and you do little staycation. You go on long weekends. Well, I don't like the word retired either, but you got to balance your life, and we do have fun with SWA, but with a purpose. We're still zeroing in on our vision of going old here with the services that we need. We're going to surround ourselves in case when things happen to us, when this body starts to go down. Hola, Malia. One day. Oh, wow. Yes, the ships do dock in Cologne, and then they'll put you on a bus and they'll bring you into the city. So they usually go to Casco Viejo. That's wonderful. Yes, well, you have to stay with the group and go where they take you. I saw them do the same in Costa Rica when the ship docks in Limon. Yeah, and they'll take you to Casco Viejo. You could do a city tour when you get on the double decker bus, and you get to see different neighborhoods. And even if you're just coming on a scouting trip, I think the double decker is good. Hop on, hop off. You get to a neighborhood that you've researched, and you just go around, go have coffee, you walk around, look at the sidewalks, the stores. It kind of gives you, see how you feel in that neighborhood. El Congrejo is very bohemian and lots of expats, different age groups. So that's a nice mix in that neighborhood. My hair is natural, but I stayed with a friend and I was always sweating in my clothes. While there was no AC, I just would change my clothes often. You know what? When you first come to Florida, to Panama, your body is readjusting. So you may sweat a lot in the beginning. So don't take that as this is what it's gonna be if you live here. No, like I told you, I have my fan. So I used to go, I take the metro a lot, right? So the metro station is 2 blocks from this house here. So I have to walk to the metro station. Well, if I'm going out at 11 o'clock in the morning, chances are by the time I get there, I might be sweating a bit because it's in the height of the day. But if I go in the morning or in the evening, I don't need it. So when I go down on the platform, before there was no AC, everybody was sweating. But now they've added AC in the stations. So I'm like, oh, I'm so excited, so thankful. So, and that's why you don't wear heavy makeup because that thing starts to go down and no bueno. Yes, hop on, hop off is a great way to see the city. Well, some people are very sensitive to the heat. Those are the people who go to the mountains, right? You go to Boquete. But Boquete is a special place. I wouldn't want to live here. There are some sisters living there. I mean, the mountain, the temperature is beautiful, but I go there and I see and I'm like, okay, the birds are chirping. It's gorgeous. I see the volcan Guru, which is a non-active volcano. But I look and I'm like, okay, what else is there to do? I need more. I need to be able to get down, take the elevator down, and then go right or left, catch a bus, take the metro, go here, go there. I need that, but that's me, right? But if you're happy with just getting up in the morning, have your coffee on your balcony, listen to the hummingbirds, lots of them, looking at the beautiful scenery. That's great. And if you're okay with not having to do much, but they do have some activities. They have some restaurant. They have some expat groups, and they do some live music. They have a market on Tuesday where people come. They sell vegetables and little other things, like aromatherapy things, beads and candles and stuff. Yeah, they have some stuff. It just wasn't my vibe. But I know some sisters live there, and I don't want that much quiet for me in this stage, right? I've always lived in the suburbs and I loved it. And I thought I would always want to be away from the crowd. But now that I'm old, I want to be in the midst of it. Plus, you want to be close to your doctors and a hospital and all these places in the mountains and stuff. If something happens to you, got to think about that. So I think it's good to come here if you're that sensitive to the temperature. Stay for about a month and see how you adjust. Go out at different times of the day. And if you feel miserable, then maybe Panama is not for you, right? So you have to be okay with that. And the beach areas are usually hot and humid. It's elevation. If you're sensitive to heat, you want to go somewhere where it's high. You can't wait. Good. My hair's natural. Yep. Okay. Yeah, people walk around with those little neck fans now, and they're very popular. I don't have one. I just have a regular fan. Ooh. Is the humidity worse in Panama than Florida? Huh. I don't feel like that. I don't. And listen, I moved to Florida from New York. I had to get used to that. I think what I had to get used to the most when I moved down to Florida was those heavy, crazy afternoon storms we used to have in the afternoon. I remember I used to be scared to death because for a long time I did home health. So I'd be in my car driving, it was shining, all of a sudden, boom, the heavens open, it's lightning, trees are, I'm like, oh my God, oh my God. But then after 2 or 3 miles, it's the sun again. That's what Florida used to do. We've had some pretty bad storms here too. Well, I had bad storms in South Africa. In South Africa, I would be sitting in the house and the wind would start blowing. When I tell you the wind was blowing, trees were going like this. It would holler for like an hour or 2 hours, and then the heavens open. I'm talking crazy, heavy, heavy, heavy rain. That was weird. And I'm from Florida. So it was like, okay, this is how it is here. But here, the sun is out so early. That was weird for me. For the sun to be so bright and harsh at 7 a.m. We don't have that in Florida. And then in Florida, we had some days it was in the 60s and the 70s. I came here in January 2023. January, February, March, April. We didn't have one drop of rain in 4 months. It was just beating, heavy, harsh sun. But that took getting used to. But then we learned you stay indoors during the day and you emerge in the morning and in the afternoon. So, yes, you step outside, you walk for a block, and you sweat because it's just the heat and the humidity. So I had to get used to that. But I'm almost here 3 years and it doesn't bother me anymore. So you can get used to almost anything if you don't make it such a big deal and you don't have to constantly think about it. So I don't know that it's worse than in Florida. I don't. But the fact that I live in Florida, I think it prepared me because I'm used to the heat, right? So if you're coming from a state like you're from Oregon or a place like that, yeah, it's gonna take getting used to. We have no hurricanes here in Panama, but in Florida, yes. And also we had tornadoes in Florida. Oh yes. and hurricanes, of course. For some reason, the hurricanes have bypass Panama, but we do feel earthquake rumbles here in the city because Costa Rica and Colombia both experience uh, earthquakes, and sometimes we feel some of the tremors. But in David, which is going closer to Costa Rica, they get drills and the kids are out. They can feel the earthquakes in those areas. So it's like, no David for me. But here in the city, we have all these tall buildings. And once in a while, I think about it. What if there's an earthquake? So you can't spend your time worrying about the what ifs. If it happens, it's your time to go, it's your time to go. Yeah, you can get used to anything, seriously. And that's why I tell people when you're looking at a country, look at everything and see what's most important to you: language, weather, visa, cost of living, other expats, friendliness of the people. Um, I don't know how easy is it for you to make friends because you need friends wherever you go. Oh, in Bermuda? Oh, wow. Such a beautiful place, though. In New York City, I lived in a suburb of New York City. My brother lives in Harlem right now. But from New York to Florida, whoo, I felt like I was in the Twilight Zone. It was totally different. But I missed the winter, believe it or not. I missed the leaves, the changing of the leaves. I grieved for that the first few years. I missed that a lot. I missed the cold winter. I missed seeing the snow around Christmas. But then again, I got over it. I went back, and then one day I got there. It was so cold. I was like, okay, I'm good now. I'm going back. I'm going back to the warmth. You know, you get old, your bones can take that cold weather. Mm-mm. Colombia is a pretty nice place. Um, there's a lady there called Nana, and she lives in a mountain area. She's got gorgeous views, and she loves it there. The food is kind of similar to here, but I don't know if the community, the people are the same. People talk about Medellin. I haven't been to Colombia at all, so I don't know. That is a change. I'm originally from Brooklyn. Oh yes. Oh, I missed that. I mean, I was grieving, but when I went there one winter and I came back to Florida, I was like, oh, I'm good. I'm good. What I liked about Panama when I visited is the shopping. Oh my God. Jumpsuit plus size women was great. The purchase of 18 karat, yes, they have lots of jewelry. And a lot of people come here to buy in bulk and then to go resell. You know, the Cologne free zone, they have duty free. Yes, lots of people shop there. And even for us, when I tell you we don't worry about our hair, we can go to the store. We have several brands, um, Conway, Titan, El Costo, El Campeon, and there's another store called Oca Loca. Oca Loca, you get a bra for $1.50. You get panties for 99 cents. You get a pack of little booties for your little socks. You get five for 99 cents. There's a place I go, I can get, this $2, $3. I mean, I'm talking very reasonable, okay? And because we don't go to places where we have to dress up, right? Nobody's wearing long sleeve. We're hot. So we're trying to be comfortable. So I like these nice flowy skirts, and I wear like some shorts underneath so that if the wind is blowing, it could be nice and comfy. And then you get some comfortable top, and you're good to go. You get a hat, get a bag, and wear some nice, comfortable shoes. So when you first come, bring some nice tennis shoes because the sidewalks are not the greatest in some places. There is broken glass, so protect your feet. Lots of deals. Everything is affordable. Now, food, but clothing, cheap. Yep. Ah, lots of great deals. Listen, I can go inside one of those stores and I buy 5 items, and they'll come to me and say $12.99, and you're like, "Oh, I like that." Mhm. Yep. So you kind of, and of course, I don't know about you guys, but now that I'm older, in fact, I say I'm going to have to go declutter my house again. Because if I open a drawer and I have 10 t shirts, I don't need 10 t shirts. So I'm going to declutter and give a lot of stuff to the churches. I want to live as simply as possible. And I have a washer dryer. If I can just do a wash once a week, I'm good. Is it easy to get around? The subway, yes. Well, we have 2 lines, line one, line two. Line one takes you from Albrook, which is the main bus station, and there's a mall there. You got multiple stops, and then it ends in one place. Then you get to a station, you can switch to line two. So you go from north to south, and then you can go east and west. So for 35 cents, you can ride the metro. You get your card, and every time you swipe it, you tap it to get in and out, 25 cents. 35 cents. 25 cents when you get on the bus. You use the same card for 25 cents. The one area, some areas do not have access to the metro, but every area has a bus line that you can catch, whether you're in the city or outside the city. Lots of buses, city buses, regional buses, buses of all size. And if you're going on long distance, like you're going to David or you want to go to Bocas del Toro, those are the fancy 2 double-decker buses. And then the seats are comfortable. You can move your seats, and then you bring your sweater and you're good. The main terminal, you get your Metro card for $2, and then you load it up. You can load it up in machines. The machines, most of them take bills, 5, 10, $20 bills, and some of them will take the coin. Panama has a $1 coin they call the Balboa, but not all machines take that. So one area that doesn't have access to the metro is San Francisco. San Francisco, lots of buses, but no metro. Costa del Este is a little bit preppy, a little bit, the rent's a little higher. It's one of the newer planned community, so we don't have metro stops there. But now they are working on a third line called the third metro line. It's going to connect Panama City, Albrook, which is the main station, to Panama Oeste, the west part of the city. It just became, not too long ago, its own province because so many people are there. So they're like, oh, you need to have your own, kind of like your own zip code. So it's the 10th province. Now Panama has 10 different provinces, areas, okay? So that train, that's the one that's going to have a tunnel that's going to go underneath the Panama Canal. Can you imagine that? And then it's going to emerge. So it's going to start at Panama Oeste, Arahan, um, La Chorrera, all those areas of Panama Oeste, West Panama. And then it's going to make multiple stops, strategic stops, to kind of give, because those people who live over there, sometimes they have to get up 3, 4 o'clock in the morning to take multiple buses to get to the city to work. So it's really hard on them. And some of them end up staying with friends and family in the city. They're working here because getting to and fro is just a problem for them. If you go to the Albrook Mall, I was there this past Friday. Let me tell you, or was it yesterday? The lines for people trying to get home. So when that train starts going, it's going to relieve a lot of that congestion. There are lots of taxis in Panama City. We don't recommend that you get into those yellow taxis. They're not very well monitored, and there have been some crime, petty crime, grabbing your purse or whatever. There was a little lady, I think she was here like in the February or Carnival, and she was posting. She had a big black eye. She said some taxi driver punched her, sucker punched her, took her purse or whatever. So that is still a possibility. Your best bet, if you're not using the metro or the buses, is to use Uber. Before you get here, download the Uber app. And I don't know anybody who doesn't have Uber. We don't have Lyft here. There's no Lyft. So it is the metro, the buses, or Uber. We use Uber a lot. All right. And like I tell you, $2, $3 per trip. Yeah, we'll use Uber. Maracuya, yes, one of my favorite. We have lots of maracuya here in Panama. Passion fruit. Oh, really? No. No, this is here. You get the fruit itself, not the drink. We get the fruit. It looks like a grapefruit. And you cut it, and it's a special looking fruit. Oh, yeah. They have the drinks, but they sell the fruit itself everywhere. We have maracuya. Yep. Beautiful. And the Panamanian avocado is absolutely amazing. It's so good. The sandia, the watermelon, gorgeous, sweet. The pineapple is to die for, sweet and juicy. The papayas. Yesterday I came and I bought a papaya like this for $1.50. You know, I'm gonna let it get really ripe, and I cut it, I eat it, I cube it, and I put it in my smoothies. Excellent. And you know, they tell us to eat, we can have the seeds sometimes. So sometimes I'll add it after I finish my smoothie. Maybe once every 2 weeks, I'll have a little bit of the seeds. It's supposedly good to get rid of parasites. You hungry? Why are you hungry? We're not talking about food, just the maracuya. Lots of smoothies here. Um, Lots of rice, lots of chicken, fish. Woo. The fried fish here is amazing. With the fried plantains, that's my weakness. Fried fish with patacones, what you might know as tostones. They call them patacones here. One thing about Panama, they're not big on veggies. I'm just telling you, the locals are not on veggies. Rice, chicken, beef, pork, like pork chops. Yes, empanadas, empanadas, tortillas, lots of that. But if you want vegetables, I mean, you can find a lot of them. But it's not like you're gonna find them. You go to the fondas. The fondas are like small mom and pop, fried, 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 fried. So be careful. But people come here and they say they lose weight, even if they're eating all the stuff. That's, you know why? Because they're not stressed out. People come here, they said at the airport, they just feel like, says a lot. That's why people love Panama. You come here, you just feel so chilled. I mean, I go from one place. When I leave the restaurant after I do my ladies' meeting on Thursday, I was gonna go to the store to get some herb to make a soup for his sister. And I'm like, yeah, I'm gonna walk. And I'm walking. Well, you gotta kind of watch when you're in the traffic. You don't have the right of way, okay? So make sure you use a crosswalk, and before you cross, make eye contact with the driver. If he stops or he flashes his light, that means he's telling you to go, and you're like, oh, gracias. Then you cross because you could get hit. So I'm walking around. Nobody's gawking. Nobody's looking at you. That's one of the things that just makes you so relaxed. You are not, you know, sometimes you walk in your neighborhood and you're like, oh, they're gonna call the cops or whatever. None of that here. Not. Even, we have the police. You see the police a lot, but they are not threatening. They're minding their own business. They don't even look at you. As long as you don't involve in any kind of crazy stuff, they don't bother you. You go to the metro station, they always have cops standing there. And sometimes they're checking people's IDs. So always carry ID. They haven't stopped me yet, but the sister said they asked for her ID. So, and if you are on a long range bus going to David or whatever, many times the cops will come onto the bus and everybody has to show their ID. That happened to me in Rwanda. So this is the way it is. So if you don't do anything illegal, you don't worry about it, right? You just mentioned tostones, yes, but we call them patacones, uh, which I've heard other bloggers refer to as well. The parasites? How did you keep yourself healthy when checking out different countries? First of all, I don't eat street food when I'm traveling someplace. All right? You don't know if they wash their hands while they're cooking their stuff. You don't. The last time I was in the Caribbean somewhere, and I got so excited, I saw coconut. Oh, I want coconut. I want mangoes. And even though I went home and washed that machete, I don't know what was in it. I got so deathly ill. I thought I was gonna die. So since then, when I go to a new country, I don't eat out. I don't eat from the side of the road. I eat in restaurant, and I only eat cooked food. No salad for you. No salad whatsoever. Anything that is not steamed or cooked, I don't eat it. I was in Africa for 90 days, never got sick. And this lady is like, you don't want to try that? I'm like, nope, I'm not trying it. Nope, nope, nope. And then you drink bottled water, you brush your teeth with bottled water. Mondongo, of course, but I didn't like it. I tried a lot of things. I'll try it once. If it's not raw, like I said, I don't eat anything raw. That's why I'm not into ceviches. People have gotten sick from ceviches here. So if I have fried fish with patacones, I'm good. I eat the fresh stuff myself because when you come home with your fresh fruit and vegetables, you fill your sink and you throw some baking soda, some vinegar, let them sit there for a little bit. Shake, rinse. If it's like apple, mangoes, and stuff, brush them off because sometimes there is like a waxy things. They still spray foods here with pesticide. So don't think because you come to Panama that everything is organic. No, because they tell you. I was in Peru earlier this year, and I took a cooking class, and the chef said we spray our fruits and vegetables with lots of pesticides. So you make sure you clean your food. So I'm not a salad person like that. I've always loved spinach. That's why I don't do raw anything, raw vegan, raw this, into your juicing and stuff. I'm older, so I have to watch about my immune system. I'm not gonna introduce raw stuff. because sometimes there are little parasites, little bugs, like things like broccoli and spinach and other things that you catch from the vine and you don't spend time rinsing. And even if you rinse, you still may have a little bit left. But when you steam it, the heat is going to kill a lot of that. So I haven't gotten sick. Since that day, I was like, no mask. Mm-mm. I was in Chile one time, and that was like in the 90s. But I was very careful. I only drink bottled water, and I remember I was with a few friends, and then they would take me to a restaurant, and I was gonna say, "Cocida, is it cooked?" He's like, "Yes." Or you come to me and you say, "Maggie, don't eat that. It's not cooked. Thank you," because that's his country. His system is used to that. Mine that is not. So I think I went to a conference and I went to a restaurant and I had lunch or dinner and I got to the hotel and it was like, ooh, I had the noise going. I'm like, okay. I know I'm very careful. Did I go and eat and I didn't eat on the side of the road? You know what happened? At that restaurant, I asked for a Coke and instead of bringing me a can, they brought me un vaso, a glass. So when I started doing this, and I was like going back, trying to think where I was, what I ate, and then I remembered they gave me the Coke from a fountain thing, when they put the syrup and then the water, and I was like, bingo, that's how I got sick. So now, if you're gonna have drinks, make sure it's in a can or in a bottle, nothing that is free flowing, water or otherwise. I have never gotten sick here in Panama. The water here in Panama is supposedly really good. You can drink it, but even now, I have a 5 gallon water jug, but I leave that for when I have guests. For me, a habit that I had when I was in South Africa is I have these water pitchers, the glass one, electric. I boil it for a few minutes overnight. I leave it. The next day, I have a pitcher. I always have boiled water in my pitcher. That's what I drink. Just habit. I don't have to think about it. You got to be careful, especially when you're older, right? This girl lives 2 buildings over there. She called me one time. She's like, "Oh my God, I'm so sick." And I'm like, "What happened?" She said she's been throwing up and going to the bathroom. I've never gotten sick here in Panama. And I'm like, "Where did you go? Where did you eat?" Because those funders, you don't know what's happening in the back of the house, in the back of the kitchen, right? And I said, "What did you have?" She said, "I had a salad." And I'm like, "Oh." She said, "My dog is sick too." I said, "Did you feed the dog the salad?" So she got sick from eating salad. So I'm like, she said, "How do I avoid that?" I said, "Only eat cooked food. The fresh stuff, you make it at home, you wash it, but be careful. You can have the salad, but make it yourself. I mean, that's me. I don't trust other people. Did you really wash that lettuce? Did you scrub that tomato? I doubt it. I'm a nurse. I don't play with my health. Nope. Mm-mm. And I'm old, so I have to be careful. Yep. You're welcome, you guys. Any other questions? It's almost hour and a half. Panama is a beautiful country. The water is good. We have water delivery service. They have companies that would come and bring you those big old bottles that you can flip and put on a water dispenser. Thank you. Oh, DK Allen, when are you gonna get here? Are you coming this week or next? Or next week? And they deliver it. If you Monday, whoo, if you order it, and I think they were very reasonable when I was here first time, and they come to your building, you have a bunch of people order this thing. Every building has a delivery day, and they'll bring it into your apartment. They'll even put it on top of the machine for you, and that's good. Um, some people go to the stores and they get the big jug. I did get it one time. Then you have to Uber back because you don't want to be carrying all of that. And if you live in a building, the staff there is so good. When they see you pull up with the Uber, they'll come and take it for you. And each building has like carts, like shopping carts, so that when you come from the store and you bring that stuff, they'll bring you one out. You load yourself up, take the elevator to your apartment, take your stuff out, and bring it down. So they do have those carts to help you. Yep. All right, guys. I'm so glad you guys came on. Don't forget to like the video. Just like, share, subscribe, whatever you do, okay? At the bottom. Make sure you like it. All right, guys. Thank you. I hope by tomorrow I'll be okay. But you can see I've been eating those halls. And I'm sorry, they help me to keep me from coughing. All right. Is it safe to log off now? You guys got all your questions answered? You're welcome. We did good. The weather kept, and I wasn't sweating a mess in front of y'all. Bye-bye. All right, DK, when you come into town, say hello, okay? Thank you, thank you. All right. God bless. Bye-bye. Adios. Hasta luego. You're a picky eater. Yeah. Oh, okay. Yes. That's how I got in the habit of doing that when I was in England with the glass pot. So I think they had like a white one that used to boil really fast for tea. You know how much tea they drink in England. But I remember when I was there, I was like, they have no uh, coffee makers. Coffee mate, they couldn't find any of that. They use skim milk in their tea. I was like, ooh. Now I wouldn't drink that coffee creamer. You don't know what's in that thing. Prepackaged food. We're not doing that anymore. Better get some milk or something that you know where it comes from, that you can pronounce. No gum or anything like that in your food. No bueno. All right. Bye, guys.